Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kadash. What it do, YouTube.com/Patreon/bit shoot. Today's video, I want to chime in with a quick impromptu video. In today's video, I want to talk about chapter 1 of Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. Now, chapter 1 is called Excerpts from Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Chapter 1, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Let's begin. This is deep. The Illuminati's declaration of war upon the people of America. The Illuminati ain't real. The Illuminati's declaration of war upon the people of America. WC, author's note, WC is William Cooper. I read top secret documents which explain that silent weapons for quiet wars is the doctrine adopted by the policy committee of the Bilderberg Group during its first known meeting in 1954. A copy found in 1969 was in the possession of naval intelligence. The following document, dated May 1979, was found on July 7th, 1986, in an IBM copier that had been purchased at a surplus sale. Top Secret Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, an introductory programming manual, operations research, technical manual, TMSW 7905.1. Welcome aboard. This publication marks the 25th anniversary of the Third World War, called the Quiet War. Oh my God. That's deep. That's deep. Everybody always talk about World War I, World War II. World War III is on the people. World War III is a spiritual war. World War III is on the mind. Woo, woo, woo. Let me reread that for you. Because a lot of people be on point. They just say it in a different way. You know what I mean? And then you got these people who work with those people to keep your mind in the dark state of confusion. Because that's really what this is all about. Okay, let's read that again. Welcome aboard. This publication marks the 25th anniversary of the Third World War, called the Quiet War, being conducted using subjective biological warfare, fought with silent weapons. COVID-19, biological warfare, World War III. This book was written in like what? I don't know exactly when it was written. I think it was written, 1991? Around that time, yeah, like late 80s, early 90s. This is deep. And all this predicting all the stuff that's going on now and all the stuff that happened in the past and things that's going to continue to happen. I'm going to read that again for you one more time. This publication marks the 25th anniversary of the Third World War, called the Quiet War, being conducted using subjective biological warfare, fought with silent weapons. This book contains an introductory description of this war, its strategies, and its weaponry. May 1979. Number 74-1120. Security. It is patently impossible to discuss social engineering or the automation of a society, i.e., the engineering of a social automation system, silent weapons, on a national or worldwide scale without implying extensive objectives of social control and destruction of human life, i.e., slavery and genocide. This manual is in itself an analog declaration of intent. Such a writing must be secured from public scrutiny. Otherwise, it might be recognized as a technical, formal declaration of domestic war. Furthermore, whenever any person or group of persons in a position of great power and without full knowledge, I'm actually reading a book, so that's what I'm looking at, if you're wondering. And without full knowledge of consent of the public uses such knowledge and methodical, methodology for economic conquest. It must be understood that a state of domestic warfare exists between said person or group of persons and the public. The solution of today's problems require an approach which is ruthlessly candid, with no agonizing over religious, moral, or cultural values. You have qualified for this project because of your ability to look at human society with cold objectivity and yet analyze and discuss your observations and conclusions with others of similar intellectual capacity without a loss of discretion or humility. Such virtues are exercised in your own best interests. Do not deviate from them. William Cooper, author's note. All above emphasis are mind, as are those in the following two sections, and including bracketed additions throughout. I do recognize this document based upon the document's own admission as a formal declaration of war by the Illuminati upon the citizens of the United States of America. I acknowledge that a state of war exists and has existed between the citizens of the United States of America and the Illuminati aggressor. Based upon this recognition, I present to you that the peaceful citizens of this nation are fully justified in taking whatever steps may be necessary, including violence, to identify, counterattack, and destroy the enemy. That's why they don't want us to rise up. That's why they neutralize groups like Public Enemy and KRS-One. And I could keep going on. Let's continue. Okay, let's go back. I acknowledge that a state of war exists and has existed between the citizens of the United States of America and the Illuminati aggressor. Based upon this recognition, I present to you that the peaceful citizens of this nation are fully justified in taking whatever steps may be necessary, including violence, to identify, counterattack, and destroy the enemy. I base this statement upon God-given right of any peaceful people to defend themselves against attack and destruction by any enemy waging war against them. I cite the principles outlined in the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution of the United States of America, and the fully recognized and acknowledged historical precedents that have served as the justification for destruction of tyrants. Historical introduction. Silent weapon technology has evolved from operations research, parentheses OR, a strategic and tactical methodological developed under the military management Eisenhower in England during World War II. The original purpose of operations research was to study the strategic and tactical problems of air and land defense with the objective of effective use of limited military resources against foreign enemies, i.e., logistics. It was soon recognized by those in positions of power, the Council on Foreign Relations (CFR), that the same methods might be useful for totally controlling a society, but better tools were necessary. Social engineering (parentheses the analysis and automation of a society) requires the correlation of great amounts of constantly changing economic information (parentheses data). High-speed computerized data processing system was necessary, which could race ahead of society, and predict when society would arrive for capulation. Relay computers were too slow, but the electronic computer invented in 1946 by J. Presper Eckert and John W. Mauchly filled the bill. The next breakthrough was development of the simplex method of linear programming in 1947 by the mathematician George B. Dantzig. Then in 1948, the translator invented by J. Bardeen, W. H. Bratton, and W. Shockley promised great expansion of the computer field by reducing space and power requirements. With these three inventions under their direction, those in positions of power strongly suspected that it was possible for them to control the whole world with the push of a button. Immediately, the Rockefeller Foundation got in on the ground floor.